Testing, testing, 1, 2. All right. So first thing I want you to do is just say, hi, my name is, and just tell me a little bit about yourself. So Ben, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Ben Love. I'm the brewmaster and one of the owners of Gigantic Brewing Company.
I'm Van Havig. I'm the master brewer and one of the owners of Gigantic Brewing Company.
Excellent. Where did the name Gigantic come from? How did you come up with that? Well, it's a good story then,
yeah.
huh?
You're gonna have to beep this.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you looked at me.
What's the most family-friendly way of telling this story?
Yeah. So when we were trying to come up with a name, then we were thinking that, we didn't want, this isn't going to be a large brewery. It's not going to be some freaking large brewery. No. It's not going to be some freaking gigantic brewery.
Yeah, we specifically said, look, I don't want this to turn into some freaking gigantic brewing company. Oh my God, that's the name.
Yeah, and then the more we thought about it, we were like, wow, this is a great name because it's pretty easy to remember. Everybody knows the word, It also has a lot of great meanings that correspond with kind of what we're doing here. Gigantic, it actually technically doesn't have a whole lot to do with size as it has to do with presence.
If you look up.
If you look up like the Merriam-Webster, Google gigantic, and you'll find some pretty good, definitions.
But I mean, it's obviously it's a name full of irony, obviously, and because we're going to be small, and there's a little bit of braggadocio to the name, which we like a little bit, and really we're going to be bigger than beer. We've got some things that we're doing that are sort of, look, if all we ever do is appeal to beer people, then we failed miserably. So you have to peel outside that. So bigger than beer.
Even in Portland?
Even in Portland, I think.
Yeah.
I think everything else is trite.
Well, I mean, obviously having great beer is important, but that you have to have. It's important to be doing something beyond just making great beer.
Yeah.
Everybody has their particular thing that they focus on that helps them connect with people besides just having great product.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. If all you're doing is beer, it's trite.
So what kind of beer are you going to brew? I mean, do you have a specialty in mind, a house beer in mind? What sort of things are folks going to see when they come into your tap room?
Yes.
So we're going to have one house beer.
The answer is yes.
We'll have one house beer, IPA.
Yeah.
It's kind of
That's
an
the
odd
only.
style,
You may have heard of it before.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of popular.
Yeah, it's an emerging style around here.
So that's going to be the only beer that we do year round. That everything else will be seasonal. And so, we're always going to be changing it up. A lot of our seasonals, we'll brew them one time only. Yeah. Because there's a lot of different beer styles out there, or maybe it'll be the type of thing where we're going to brew an Imperial IPA, but this year it's going to be made with these certain malts, these certain hops. Next year it's going to be done with a different setup the next year.
So what kind of beers what are we going to make? What do you got?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
the official line is whatever we feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like that. I mean, there's a certain draw then to come into the tasting room because you never know what you might find on tap.
Yeah, totally. It's about people. It's about getting people to come back. It's also about staying energized and relevant and excited in the industry. For ourselves.
Yeah, exciting for ourselves and for other people who are buying our beer.
Yeah.
Kind of wondering what's the next thing these guys are going to put out.
And everyone says this, beer should be fun. Yes, it should be. It should be. It gets all, eating a cheeseburger every day for lunch is awesome for like the first 4 days. And then after like month 3, you're just like, man, it was really fun to eat this cheeseburger, but now it sucks. So fun, different.
Yeah. Now you guys both have quite the track record in town. Does that put any more pressure on you to come out of the gate to be unique, to put yourself on the map, or does having the reputation, is that an automatic draw for folks?
Yeah, I think the draw piece definitely. We've been able to get a lot of publicity because people know us and stuff. We're friends with a lot of people. We've been in the industry here in town for quite a long time.
We're fortunate enough to be an anticipated brewery.
Yeah,
currently. So that's.
So I guess it's good on that end that people know that we're going to be opening and they're excited to see what we're going to be doing. At the same time, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of expectations. I think that that the beer's going to be really good. So I'm not too worried about that. But.
No, and this is not, I mean, it's honestly, it's not to be arrogant. No. It's just to say that we've both been brewing for a long time. We do know what we're doing. I'm not going to say that we don't occasionally stumble, but hands down, we're never going to put a beer out that we're never going to put a beer out that we don't fully believe in. And I mean that. I mean that. If that takes missing a beer and deciding not to package it, then that's what that takes. You know, so, you know.
Is it going to be a matter of coming here to get the really unique stuff, to get the one-offs, that sort of thing, or are you going to have a presence around town? I'm assuming.
Yeah, actually, we're going to be we'll be doing draft, but mostly we're going to be doing bottled products, so 22-ounce bottles, and you know, we're always going to have the IPA in the bottle, and then we'll always have at least 2 seasonals that are being bottled that'll rotate every few months. And then we'll be doing other stuff. You know, sometimes we'll put other beers in bottles. There'll be some draft beers that'll be here. It'll be at a few other places around town.
That may be draft only.
But yeah, you'll be able to find our beer in bottles. Actually, we'll have it in Oregon. We're going to be distributed in Washington, British Columbia, and Alaska right out of the gate. So that basically comes from having worked in the industry for a while,
relationships.
And relationships and knowing people and having people in those places looking forward to the product that we're going to be putting out, you know, the beers that we're going to be doing.
Even having those relationships, having the reputation, being well known around town, what are the challenges in getting going from square one? Brand new equipment, brand new space, brand new brewery.
Yeah. How much time do you have?
Commissioning breweries is a pain in the butt. It just is. There's, I mean, all the little things. I mean, so we have new fermentation control units, and I spent about 4 hours yesterday dealing with figuring those out, and then having to call the tech company, the company that made them, to be able to make sure the wiring's right and be able to like get the programming right on and everything. I mean, and that's just being able to tell something what temperature to go. You have, and then once you start brewing, you know, you've got issues about, you have no idea what your brew house efficiency is going to be. It's always terrible initially. You've got to get that up so that you're being efficient. You have to dial in your hop rates, all that sort of stuff. It takes a little bit it takes at least a few brews to have some vague idea of where you're going to be going, and then it'll take 6 months before you really feel comfortable. You know, that's just the way it is.
And I'd like you both to answer this last question that I like to ask folks who are seasoned in this industry, but also trying to make something new. What's the saturation point in Portland and in the surrounding area for breweries? Because it seems like there's a new one going in every week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, Portland specifically, there's a lot of breweries, but there's still a lot of, you know, Portland has the best beer market, craft beer market in the country as far as, you know, the percentage of beer that's sold here, that's brewed here, but also that's craft beer. But it's still a really small percentage of the total beer market. So there's a lot of room to grow there. You know, I mean, we've been seeing it for a few years now where the large brewers have been flat or even declining, but the craft brewers have been growing by double digits every year because the reason why it's possible is that their small decline is huge growth in our industry because we're still so small, really. And so, you know, as far as having a brewery on every corner, you know, it's kind of, I think, why not, pretty much. You know what I mean? I know that people in this neighborhood that I've heard from are really excited that we're coming in, that they're going to have their place, you know, that's in their neighborhood, that's just within a few blocks, you know, and in some ways I would say that, you know, if you were in the suburbs, for example, this would be high saturation already because you'd be like, oh yeah, you know, I got the bars up on Woodstock and I got the bars down on Powell, and they aren't very far, but people still want that place really close to them, and so I think we got a lot of room to go. I think a lot of it comes down to people putting out good product and operating their business in a smart way at the end of the day. I
have a different, much more obnoxious answer. Have you ever heard anyone ask, do we need another winery in this state? No. Have you ever had anyone ask, do we need another bar in this city or another restaurant? No.
Another coffee shop?
Another coffee shop? Another bike shop? No. I don't understand why people ask if there needs to be another brewery. To me, it's a stupid question. Is the brewery make good beer? Or do the people that run the business, are they good operators? That's the answer. I mean, it's a stupid question. You know? It's, no offense. I hear it from everybody. But I hear it.
It's a really common question.
But it's a really common question. And I just want to be like, oh my God, are there too many muffler shops in this town? Kind of a dumb question is that? We'll know when there's too many because will they go out of business? How many breweries have gone out of business recently? One or two. Was it because they lacked business? No. It was because they were poor operators. Sorry. Just like if you were a bad muffler shop, just like if you were a bad, code writer for someone, you wouldn't have work. It's that simple.
Great. Well, I look forward to coming back when there's beer.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, good timing.